Audrey Hepburn's life was a picture of elegance and beauty, but beneath her grace lay a past marked by betrayal, war, and unimaginable pain. Born into privilege, she would face heartbreak that left permanent scars. And it all began when the man she trusted the most vanished without a trace. Audrey Kathleen Roston was born on May 4, 1929, in Brussels. Her early life seemed full of promise, moving between London and Arnhem for her father's work. By the time she was a child, she had learned 6 languages, a sign of her privileged upbringing. But behind this polished exterior, a darkness was already brewing within her family. You see, Audrey's parents were fervent supporters of the rising Nazi regime, even traveling to Germany to attend marches. Her father, Joseph, was particularly consumed by his toxic ideologies. In 1935, he did the unthinkable. He abandoned his wife and daughter, fleeing to London to devote himself entirely to fascism. For young Audrey, this betrayal shattered her world. She would later confess, "It was the most traumatic event of my life." His departure cut her to the core. Despite having visitation rights, he never came to see her. Audrey watched as other children at her boarding school were reunited with their families on weekends and holidays. She was always painfully alone. But even this heartache was just the beginning of her journey into darkness. When World War II began, her family sent her to the Netherlands, believing she would be safe. But that fateful decision would plunge Audrey into the horrors of war. Instead of finding refuge, she found herself in the heart of one of the most dangerous battlegrounds of the time. In 1940, at just 10 years old, Audrey witnessed the German invasion of Holland, and the nightmare began. Audrey's family changed her name to Edda van Himstra to avoid being identified as English, but no disguise could protect her from the terrors that followed. For 5 long years, she and her family lived like prisoners, hiding in basements as bullets flew overhead. The Nazis even took 2 of her uncles. Both were executed. The weight of these losses drew Audrey to join the Dutch resistance. She risked her life delivering secret messages hidden in her shoes and even used her love for dance to raise money for the cause. In secret, she performed underground concerts knowing that the sound of applause would betray them all. But even her bravery couldn't stop the next wave of horror. In 1944, things took a turn for the worse. The infamous Dutch famine ravaged the population as German forces blocked the routes for food and supplies. She faced extreme hunger and fell ill with anemia, respiratory issues, and malnutrition. By war's end, the family was destitute, with their once grand estates reduced to ruins. When the war finally ended, so did Audrey's year of torment. One of her most vivid memories was the day a UNICEF worker gave her a chocolate bar. It was the taste of freedom. Yet, with her liberation came a crushing realization. The dream she had clung to throughout the war to become a prima ballerina was slipping through her fingers. Determined to pursue her dream for becoming a prima ballerina, she moved to London on a ballet scholarship. However, the war had robbed her of critical years of training, and she found herself too far behind to ever become the star she dreamed of. Her health, weakened by years of starvation, also worked against her. Audrey was devastated, forced to confront the fact that she would never achieve her lifelong goal. Despite this devastating blow, Audrey wasn't ready to give up. While her heart broke over her failed dancing career, she found herself drawn into the world of acting, a path that would change her life forever. Her talent for performance quickly caught the attention of major figures in Hollywood, and in 1951, director William Wyler cast her in Roman Holiday. It was a decision that would change the course of her life. Audrey was so captivating on a screen that she won an Academy Award for Best Actress on her very first try, catapulting her into a superstardom. Yet, even as her star rose in Hollywood, her personal life remained tumultuous. After a brief engagement to industrialist James Hansen, Audrey called off the wedding, realizing that their demanding careers would never allow for a happy marriage. Her statement, "When I get married, I want to be really married," sent a clear message that Audrey was unwilling to settle for anything less than real commitment. Romance continued to complicate her life when she began an affair with her co-star William Holden while filming Sabrina. Their relationship was passionate but ultimately doomed. Holden, already married, proposed to Audrey, but she rejected him knowing their love couldn't last. In 1954, she found love again with actor Mel Ferrer, and the two married in a private ceremony in Switzerland. But their happiness was short-lived. Audrey suffered a heartbreaking miscarriage in 1955, followed by another devastating loss in 1959 when she was thrown from a horse on the set of The Unforgiven, breaking her back and losing her second leg. Despite these tragedies, Audrey found joy when she welcomed her first son, Sean Hepburn Ferrer, in 1960. She took a year off from acting to ensure a healthy pregnancy, and her dedication paid off. Audrey's career continued to flourish, but her personal life remained rocky. Ferrer was controlling, and their marriage was far from harmonious. Audrey's friend often worried about how much she was sacrificing for their relationship. Despite the tension, they stayed together for 14 years. Still, the pressure of their demanding career and Ferrer's growing jealousy tore at their bond. By 1968, the fairy tale was over and Audrey filed for divorce. But in 1967, Audrey Hepburn did the unthinkable, shocking the world and leaving everyone to wonder what happened next.